How we doing? It's Thursday once again. I'm here, Mike Fowler, PSI instructor for the security school here. I want to talk about a few things with you. Security officers out there, we work with on private property all the time. So I get posed a lot. I get asked a lot of questions in regards to private property laws, rules, and regulations, and what's enforceable by state statute. Some companies out there will allow you to write traffic citations for parking enforcement violations, handicap violations, speeding, tow-away zones. Well, what would make that legal? So today I want to talk about what makes the world go round as far as public safety is concerned and as far as traffic laws are concerned. As security, we're not authorized. We haven't gone through a traffic law seminar. We haven't gone through 316 statutes for parking training and everything. So a lot of this stuff that I'm talking about pertains to civil laws, like HOA enforcement as far as paying the fine. So if you take a walk with me real quick, we're going to show you some of the finer points of what you need to pay attention to. Everybody's been around to the beach where it says this parking is parking reserved for whatever. All violators will be towed at owner's expense, right? Guess what? That sign's not legal. Let me show you why. This sign right here, in accordance with Florida statute, is what you need. The tow-away zone sign contains the Florida statute that extends you, the private property owner and operator or security officer, the right to tow a vehicle. This is also because we're residing inside of the Fort Myers City. It has Fort Myers City ordinance on it. You got the same thing, tow-away zone, unauthorized or improperly parked vehicles will be towed at the owner's expense. You need to have, on top of the Florida statutes on there, you need to have the name of the towing company. You also need to have a contact number for the towing company. If you don't have that, technically you can't tow a vehicle. Even though it's your property, you have to let somebody know where you can get your vehicle from. Somebody comes outside and they see that their car's gone, guess what? They're going to call the police. Hey, my car's been stolen. The only time that you'd be authorized to make a tow when it comes to not having the statute on there and everything is if you call law enforcement out there and they're the ones that tell you to go ahead and tow the vehicle. You know, yes, it's private property, you can have it towed, but you're going to wind up getting into a legal battle over it. So having law enforcement back you up and say, you know, it's been here for a few days, we get it, go ahead and have it towed, we'll put it into our system as being towed and where it's getting towed to, so on and so forth. Now the next thing we like to talk about is parking as far as handicap. Now, you really can't see it from back here, but our neighbor across the way has a handicap parking sign over there, handicap parking spot. You barely see it, but it is, you've got the handicap sign up there. It says parking here is reserved for handicapped only. $250 fine for not being properly marked. In order for a handicap parking area to be considered legal, not only do you need to have that sign that says it's a handicap parking area, but you also need to have the little wheelchair, the handicap emblem needs to be on the ground in the parking spot. If both of those are not there, it's not considered a legal handicap parking area. Because you can see on private property where that little sign will say parking by handicap placard, or it will also say reserved parking, $250 fine. Well, it's reserved for whoever they want to reserve it for, or reserved for the handicap. But you need to have that little Professor X guy, as I like to say, on the ground in order and on the sign for it to be legal. Now, if you walk with me again, so we get out of this Florida heat and the sun, God knows that sucks. I hate it. While you're sitting there doing your patrols and everything, we want to talk about, well, what exactly is a handicap parking permit? They've got red, blue, and white style handicap placards that hang in the rearview mirror. Anybody who's disabled will get one of those. Plus you can get the disabled plate. which is the handicap license plate that has the handicapped emblem on there. Little Professor X guy again, right? The next one that's not so common that most people don't realize is the disabled veterans plate, the DV plate. The state of Florida says that a disabled veterans plate is just like a handicapped parking permit. Not only that, if they are disabled by the VA, they also are going to have one of those placards that hang in the rearview mirror. Everybody who has a handicap that parks in those areas will have a handicap parking placard. Why? Well, because what happens if they go into another person's vehicle and they're handicapped, but they're not? So, hey, I want to park up front so I can walk, I'm closer to the store. Maybe I have COPD, I can't breathe. So you're able to have a placard. You do not need to display that placard if on your vehicle you have the disabled veterans license plate or the handicapped license plate. The only time that placard needs to be displayed is if you don't have any one of those two aforementioned license plates, then you need to hang it from a rearview mirror. Okay? Now, private property when it comes to doing some patrols, especially with parking lot patrols. You always want to take note of the vehicles that you have out in the parking area, especially something that's parked overnight. Florida's a beautiful state. All right, everybody comes down here to retire. Everybody comes down here to die as well. Sounds a little gruesome, but it's the truth. I've seen it firsthand. People have committed suicide inside their vehicle. Okay, people getting locked inside their vehicles and dying. So what you do is you have to take note of vehicles that have been left unattended. One day, maybe somebody just had a little too much to drink and they left their vehicle there. They'll come back and pick it up in the next morning or something. You note it down in your activity report. Hey, vehicle left here overnight. Then you go in second night. That vehicle's still here. At that time, I would definitely let my supervisor know. Like, look, I noted it down last night. It's still out here again tonight. Just want to let you know. On day 3, that vehicle is still there. Now it's been there for, you've got 72 hours that the vehicle has been there for. At that time, you may want to call law enforcement. If you can't determine the owner of the vehicle, you may want to call law enforcement out there so they can do a well-being check or run the registered owner, the RO of the vehicle. Okay? Just a little helpful information with that. Also, while you're out there walking around and everything, come on over here with me. Let's say that you're doing your patrol in your patrol vehicle and you would need to go talk to someone sitting inside of the vehicle. Or you need to look at a vehicle, right? You've exited your vehicle. Once you've made your exit, you notify, or before you make your exit, call your supervisor. Call somebody. Hey, listen, just want to let you know, I'm going to be 10, 12, I'm going to be out with a vehicle. Give them the name, the make, model, color of the vehicle, and the license plate, and make a note of it on your DAR while you're there. That way, when you get out of the vehicle, if something bad happens to you, give me 1 second here. If something terrible is to happen to you, at least it's noted down and somebody has is aware of your last point of contact. The other thing that you want to do, you get out of your vehicle. You've already notified your supervisor or central dispatch your location and what you're doing, the name of the vehicle and make, model, color, the whole 9 yards. As you approach the vehicle, you walk up, touch the back of the car. While you do that, when you do that, you're placing your fingerprints on the vehicle. So if something was to happen to you, you have your supervisor or dispatch or someone is aware that you just made contact with the driver of this vehicle, or you've made contact with the vehicle in question. Now, let's say you walk up, start talking to a guy, and all of a sudden, scumbag pulls a gun and shoots you. Hate to sound gruesome, but let's say it happens. It does happen. You're on the ground. Maybe you die, maybe you don't, maybe you're just unconscious, coma, whatever. How do they find the person that you just made contact with? How do they get that slam dunk case? Well, you've just made your contact to say, hey, I'm with this vehicle. The second thing that you've done is you have placed your fingerprints on the vehicle. By doing so, it is now conclusive and pretty much concrete that you made contact this vehicle right here. Okay, and also let's say that there is somebody inside the vehicle. You walk up, knock on the window, get your hand over here as well, or maybe you got your hand right here because you maybe covering fire, or maybe it's a suspicious vehicle freaking out, whatever. You're talking to the driver. You don't go up. How you doing, sir? Can I have your information today? You never put yourself in that position. You're going to wind yourself putting yourself in harm. You're going to wind up putting yourself in harm's way. So it's always recommended if you make contact with the driver of a vehicle to walk over, talk to them on an angle. That way you can have control over the situation with being visible. Their hands are visible. If they start to do anything, you can easily back up, right out of the way. Get out of that line of fire, possibly draw right out and start doing your thing if you had to. All right? Or the best thing, go on the passenger side. Same way. Keep your head kind of just barely through the door there so you can see what's going on, but at least your body's covered. At least the vital areas to me, my heart, my lungs, and my chest are completely covered while I'm sitting here having a conversation with the driver. You have a patrol vehicle, right? This one's activated with, all the little Christmas tree lights. Some vehicles have a external light bar, big old light bar like a police car. Know the functions of that. Learn the functions of the bar. They serve a purpose. You have alley lights and takedowns. Well, your alley lights do exactly what they say. Illuminate the damn alley. So you turn it on, you look out your window, oh, look, hey, shit, I can see down the road there. Why? Because my lights are on. Same thing for the right alley light. It casts a beam of light down the right side. Now you have two little lights in the middle of the light bar. It's called your takedowns. Those little guys will turn on and they push a beam of light straight forward from the vehicle. By doing that, it'll illuminate the vehicle as best as possible. The inside of the vehicle, it'll illuminate somebody's vehicle. Some of them, we also get a lot of companies will go out there and buy old cop cars, old police cruisers. So they've got that wonderful spotlight sitting right there in the front of the car, right? Learn how to use it. You take the spotlight and you aim it with this window here. You line it up, you've got half of the side of the car illuminated, and you've got the light pointed at the mirror. Well, anybody who's ever been pulled over by a cop at night understands that that's blinding as hell, right? There's a reason they do that. You can't see them. But it also casts a light into the vehicle. So in a dark, at night when it's dark out, that light beam is going into your vehicle and illuminating the inside of the vehicle. So the officer can see in there, or in this case, you can see in there. And blinding the driver of the vehicle gives you the opportunity to have the element of surprise. You can pick and choose. Maybe I'll go around to the passenger side. Maybe I'll come around to the driver's side. Hell, maybe I'll come up and talk to him from on top of the roof. They can't see it. That's all that matters. Okay? So, take anything away from this, remember, make sure you're legal when you're doing your paperwork. Make sure that you've got all the right statutes covered. Make sure that you're citing the right vehicles and not the wrong vehicles. All right, and you see vehicles left unattended, for a few days, maybe you want to let somebody know. We've had it before. Bodies left in vehicles in the trunks, people committing suicide in the vehicles. Hell, somebody gets abducted and their vehicle's been left there. They're looking for the vehicle. That's happened before. Silver alerts, which is, an elderly person in distress that's wandered away from home. And also, like I said, making contact with drivers of vehicles, how to protect yourself better, how to put your fingerprints and build a conclusive case. All right. Also, take notes of your lights. Criminals like the dark alleyways and dark areas. So if you notice one of the light poles or something like that, it's got busted glass all underneath of it, there's a pretty good chance that somebody blew out that light on purpose. Maybe shot it out or hit it with a rock or something. So keep your eye on that area. Make sure you have a flashlight with you. A lot of the stuff that we do, we work at night. So that's important. Also, when you're searching for someone with a flashlight, never sit there and hold the flashlight like this while you're walking. Because guess what? The criminal's going to shoot at the light. Where's that light at? Right here in the middle of your heart, right in your chest cavity. So what I do, when you're usually walking and searching, you usually got your light held away from you out here. flashlight on it. Let's say this is a flashlight. So I'm sitting there and I'm walking, and this is what I'm doing. Why? My flashlight's way the hell over here. Somebody starts taking crack shots at me, well, definitely gonna miss. You know, I'm so skinny I turn sideways. I hide behind a piece of glass, a blade of grass anyway, so have fun shooting at that, right? Never like this. You know, never have that flashlight sitting right here. Because this is head, face, throat, heart, lungs, all that vital areas, kill shots. I'm Mike with PSI. So, obviously it's Facebook. You already got us, the Professional Security Institute. If you're watching this and it's on YouTube, hey, check us out on Facebook, Professional Security Institute. Check us out on YouTube, Professional Security Institute. Check us out on the web at psifortmyers.com. We do classes for $150 cash, $156 credit card. If you decide to pay for it early with PayPal, it's $140. If you are a veteran, new thing here. We talked with, I talked it over with the owner, kind of smoothed things out a little, made things a little bit better. If you're a veteran, we will do the class for a discounted rate of $125, payable in person with cash. All you need to do is bring your DD-214, retirement credentials, or your CAT card, CAC card. If you're still active, we will give you a discount. At first we were doing it for anybody who's been discharged within the last 24 months. Being a vet, I really wanted to expand that more, and all I did was approach the owner about it. Because, you know, if we're gonna do it for one, let's do it for all. So, irregardless of whether or not the Department of Agriculture is going to give you a discounted break on getting your security license, where you don't have to pay for the license fee, the $45 fee, you just pay for the background check if you've been discharged in the last 2 years. We're now just saying to hell with it. Yeah, you do that for the new vets that get her out within the last 24 months, but we're going to still give a break to anybody who's a veteran. That's our way of saying thank you. All right. Now, all of our other stuff. If you love your Second Amendment as much as I do, God knows my gun safe can't take anymore. And whew. Anyway, my son just got his first 22 the other day. It's awesome. We tactical weapons, gun negotiator, right? Got a whole bunch of new stock in, new guns, some blue labels. Come see us if you need a G license for blue label. Yeah, this is just a cut through area. Anytime, yeah, just no fucking problem. Now, Jesse Morgan, owner-operator, Morgan Manufacturing, the extractor. All right, that's our wonderful patented safety tool out here, the rescue tool. It's a great device, so if you feel the need to help somebody, well, that'll definitely get you pointed in the right direction. That's what, wait on that truck. All right, visit us on the web, psifortmyers.com. Visit the gun shop on the web, tactical weapons, thegunnegotiator.com. Check out the extractor safety tool. Check out Tactical Weapons, the Gun Negotiator on Facebook. And give us a call, 239-936-7044. If you have any questions for security or anything related to licensing in the state of Florida for security or concealed carry permits. We still do them for $60. All right, cheapest in town, concealed carry class. And that's pretty much all I got for you. If you have any questions regarding your Second Amendment, 239-936-9950. It's Tactical Weapons and the Gun Negotiator. And I'm Mike with PSI, and as always, Facebook, YouTube, stay informed.